Most people think adopting a cat is simple. You bring them home, give them food, maybe a cozy bed, and that's it. But what if I told you, before your cat ever curls up beside you, before it ever purrs in your lap, it has already judged you, studied you, and decided what you are to them? Not as an owner, not as a human, but as something else entirely. And if you misunderstand that, you might spend years living with a cat, without ever truly understanding a single thing it's trying to tell you. Let's start with the first thing almost every future cat owner gets completely wrong. 1. They don't see you as human. Most people assume their cat knows exactly what they are, a different species, a caretaker, something separate. But that's not what's happening inside your cat's mind. Cats never evolved to create a separate social category for humans the way dogs did. To your cat, you are just a very large, very strange, slightly uncoordinated cat. And that changes everything, because it means your cat doesn't obey you, it doesn't serve you. It interacts with you the same way it would with another cat in its colony. Equal, observing, judging. This is why your cat stares at you sometimes, unblinking, almost like it's trying to figure you out. It's not confusion, it's evaluation. And once you realize that, their behavior starts to make a lot more sense. But here's where it gets interesting. 2. Every greeting is a test, a scent handshake. Have you ever reached out to pet a cat and it suddenly flinches or pulls away? Most people think, oh, the cat doesn't like me, but that's not the real reason. In the cat world, you don't just touch another cat. You introduce yourself first, slowly, carefully, through scent. When you extend your finger toward a cat's nose, you're giving them something critical, information. Your smell tells them where you've been, what you've touched, even your emotional state. And when they lean forward to sniff, they're deciding something in that moment. Safe or not safe. Accept or reject. Skip this step, and to them, you're unpredictable. And unpredictability, in a cat's brain, equals danger. If this is making sense so far, hit like and subscribe, because what we're about to get into goes much deeper than most people ever realize. 3. Your cat can become mentally starving, even in a house full of food. Here's something most new owners never expect. You can feed your cat perfectly, give them the best diet, and they can still suffer, because food is only half of what their brain needs. Cats are hardwired predators. Their minds are built for the hunt, the stalk, the chase, the moment of focus when their pupils dilate and their entire body locks onto a target. If that sequence never happens, something strange begins to occur. They don't just get bored, they become restless, anxious, sometimes even aggressive. That late night staring, when your cat locks eyes with nothing, pupils wide, body still, that's not random. That's leftover hunting energy with nowhere to go. And if you don't give them a way to release it, it builds. Quietly. 4. Dry food might be hurting them in a way you can't see. Most people think a bowl of kibble is enough. It's easy, convenient, always available. But your cat's body wasn't designed for that kind of diet. Cats evolved in desert environments. They got most of their water from prey, not from drinking, which means their thirst drive is incredibly weak. So when they eat only dry food, they don't naturally compensate by drinking more. And over time, that silent dehydration starts to affect something critical. Their kidneys. The scary part? You won't see it happening until it's already progressed. And by then it's often too late to fully reverse. 5. Petting your cat too much can actually push them away. It sounds strange, because affection should build connection, right? But for cats, there's a limit, a neurological threshold. Their nerve endings are highly sensitive. What starts as pleasurable can quickly become overwhelming, and when that happens, their body gives subtle signals. A tail flick, a slight ear turn, a shift in posture. Miss those signs, and suddenly, the cat that was enjoying your touch snaps. Not because it's aggressive, but because you didn't stop when its body asked you to. And this is where many owners unknowingly damage trust, little by little. But we're only scratching the surface. Because what your cat says without words, through its eyes, its stare, might be the most important thing you learn before ever bringing one home, and most people completely miss it. 6. Your cat had to invent a language just to talk to you. Here's something that completely changes how you hear your cat. Adult cats almost never meow at each other. Not in the wild, not in colonies. Meowing is something they created specifically for humans, because to them, we're almost deaf. We don't pick up on tail flicks, ear angles, subtle body tension, the way another cat would instantly understand. So your cat adapted. It built a new communication system, just for you. Different tones, different lengths, different patterns. And over time, those sounds become personalized. A specific meow for food, another for attention, another for something being wrong. But here's where it gets deeper. Sometimes they stop using sound altogether, and they switch to something far more ancient. Their stare, that slow blink you've seen, that half-closed gaze, that moment when they just sit and look at you in silence, that's not random. That's communication at its purest level. A slow blink is a signal of trust. In the wild, closing your eyes around another creature, even for a second, is a risk. But when your cat does it with you, it's saying something without sound. I feel safe enough to let my guard down, even briefly. And if you return that slow blink, you're speaking back, in their language. But not all stares are the same, and misunderstanding them can change everything. 7. The litter box isn't just a bathroom, it's a survival decision. Most people hide litter boxes, corners, closets, out of sight. It feels cleaner, more convenient, but to your cat, it can feel like a trap. When a cat uses the bathroom, it's at its most vulnerable. No defense, no escape speed, just exposure. So their brain looks for something very specific. Visibility, awareness, a place where they can see and not be surprised. If the box is hidden, enclosed, or in a dead-end space, their stress rises, and over time they may start avoiding it altogether, not out of defiance, but out of instinct. This is why the N+1 rule exists. 1 box per cat, plus 1 extra. It's not luxury, it's psychological safety, and ignoring that creates problems most owners misinterpret. 8. Your cat can bond with you the same way a child bonds with a parent. This surprises a lot of people, because cats are often seen as independent, distant, self-sufficient. But research tells a different story. Around 60% of cats form what's called a secure attachment to their human, the same pattern seen in human infants. Which means your presence matters more than you think. Your absence too. When you leave for long hours, your cat doesn't just nap it off. It notices. It adapts. Sometimes it withdraws. Sometimes it becomes overly attached when you return. And sometimes it expresses that connection in the quietest way possible. Through eye contact, a soft, unbroken stare with relaxed pupils, slow breathing, no tension in the body. That's not curiosity. That's emotional presence. Your cat choosing to be with you without needing anything. And once you recognize that, those small moments feel very different. 9. Yelling doesn't teach your cat anything except fear. This is one of the most damaging misunderstandings. When a cat does something wrong, scratching furniture, knocking things over, people raise their voice, thinking it will correct the behavior. But cats don't process volume the way humans do. They don't connect loudness with authority. They connect it with unpredictability. And unpredictability breaks trust. Instead of learning what not to do, your cat learns something else entirely. This environment is not safe. And when that belief settles in, behavior problems don't decrease, they increase. Avoidance, anxiety, even aggression. Not because the cat is difficult, but because it no longer feels secure. And this is where everything comes together. Because safety is the foundation of every behavior you'll ever see. 10. Respect their vulnerable moments, or they will slowly stop trusting you. Cats sleep between 12 to 16 hours a day. That's not laziness, that's biology. And during that sleep, they enter states where they are completely unaware of their surroundings. In the wild, that would be dangerous. So when your cat sleeps in your home, near you, it's making a decision to trust the environment, to trust you. Interrupt that sleep repeatedly, Pick them up while eating, hover over them when they're resting, and something subtle begins to shift. They don't react immediately. Cats rarely do, but over time they start choosing distance, different sleeping spots, less eye contact, less presence. And this is where most people get confused, because the change feels sudden, but it wasn't. It was built, moment by moment, interaction by interaction. And now, here's the part almost no one talks about. What happens when the signals stop? If your cat used to slow blink at you and suddenly doesn't, if that soft stare disappears, if they stop watching you from across the room, don't ignore it, because cats don't randomly change communication patterns. When those signals fade, it means something has shifted, physically, emotionally, or environmentally. It could be stress, it could be discomfort, it could be something in their world no longer feeling safe. And the sooner you notice, the sooner you can fix what's broken, because your cat has been speaking to you from the very beginning. Not with words, but with eyes, behavior, presence. The real question is, were you ever taught how to listen?